What's going on YouTube? We're back at it for another gun build video, and today we're going to be talking about the Bren, otherwise known as the Browning. One of the more solid LMGs when it comes to damage. Could be better than the DP-27 when it comes to Pacific Warzone integration. Biggest factor being is sheer damage and some of its long range capabilities. Now the build we'll be talking today is a bit of a more mobility build. A lot of times with the LMGs, we're not always going to be in long range, mid range situations, especially with a lot of these maps. So I needed something that was a bit mobile, but still utilized that overpowering damage of this weapon. And I'll tell you right now, it's a DPS machine. Now you could arguably make this into a hipfire build, but I felt it just wasn't as accurate as some of the other weapons in the AR that I've utilized that with. And this one did pretty well in a lot of close to medium range combat situations, but the recoil has a hell of a kick. But we'll get straight into the attachments, and then we got some gameplay to showcase the weapon off inside of Vanguard right now. We'll start off with the F8 stabilizer. You want that accuracy. For whatever the reason, this gun has a lot of horizontal recoil control that is 108 degrees right there, and you'll feel it when you start shooting it. It is jumping all over the place. Now there's a few ways to mitigate this, but we'll talk about that with the barrels. For the build I'm going for today, we're going with the Oak and Shield 590mm Model 2B. We get an amplifying damage. I mean, we're already up to 90 per shot with this. Now the recoil control is not the greatest with this, and the vital damage is also, damage is already higher than the vital damage itself. So you can already see how this can be a devastating force, even just shooting some limbs. But one interesting thing to note when it comes to the Pacific Warzone integration, you'll notice the Queen's 705mm Royale damage does not diminish over range. Now, as we've seen before with the Cold War weapons, some of the attachments will change when coming into the Warzone side of things, but who knows, maybe they'll throw this in, maybe it may be taken off, but it may still work once they go into the integration. If you remember the Cold War integration, a lot of those attachments didn't work as intended. Some things did things they shouldn't have. Could possibly be one of those things to look at. This could make this weapon just about hit scan. Bullet velocity is pretty strong on this, and the fact that we can throw on an ammunition type, or I believe it's ammunition type, that adds more bullet velocity. This could be one of those heavy hitting, long range, viable LMGs that'll just decimate the enemy, especially with how much damage it already has at a base of 50 when we just go to the Queen's 705mm Royale. But for this build, the Oak and Shield 590 is going to be the choice. When it comes to your optics, it's all up to your personal preference. Since I was using this for a close and medium range, I went with the MK3 reflector, but by all means, choose whatever is comfortable for you. And one big thing to note, ADS time is pretty slow on this weapon, so you definitely don't want to use something of the 2.5 or anything that does negative to the ADS. There's a couple of attachments that will already do some negative to ADS, so we want to kind of maximize our ability to close in with that ADS as fast as possible. When it comes to the stock, early on you could use the Queen's Mobile when you don't have some of the ammunition types or the greater damage with the BMG rounds. You could utilize this with trying to control that recoil, but for this build I went with the remove stock, giving us those ample movement speed, that ADS time and sprint to fire, as well as the aim walking movement speed. Proficiency, tight grip, +1 to accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. Now a lot of times you won't be utilizing this with this build, but it can help in certain moments. If you're not feel like it's not going to help, sleight of hand could be a solid one as well, or just brace. Brace could be a very solid choice as well for that initial accuracy and recoil, but sometimes we will be sustaining fire with this weapon, so you kind of want that ability to maintain it during the long term of shooting some of these rounds. When it comes to the kit, we're going with fully loaded. Obviously it's an LMG, we want to have as much ammo as possible. Reload time's not as fast as you'd like it to be, so if you start ending up going to that 0, and with the ammunition or the magazine that we will be using, we'll be able to deplete that ammo fairly quickly, so you want to have that surplus. But again, well, it's funny, surplus is the one thing you'd want to use to or level this weapon. Obviously you want that kill XP or that added kill XP on top of every kill that you will be having. And when it comes to the grip, in the beginning, you probably utilize the fabric grip for that aim down sight time and sprint to fire speed. But the pine tar is going to be the ideal choice when it comes to this build for that recoil control, a little bit of hip fire accuracy. We will be utilizing the hip fire a bit with this gun, and since it's so devastating, even if a few rounds are going off to the left, right, or up or above around the target, it doesn't take too many when it comes to just taking them down. Now the magazine, early on, you'll be stuck with Sakura 30 round mag. It's got an added fire rate. This couldn't be good for those moments when you're trying to utilize this maybe as a long range, but the 50 BMG 20 round is what we're going to utilize in the beginning when leveling this. You may notice 300 British 100 round. This would be good with the barrel that we have on right now if you were going for a full-on hipfire build, but like I said before, hipfire is not that tight, and the way you'd have to utilize it, you just wouldn't have the maximum mobility you'd want, especially since this is an LMG. It's something fun that you could work around and just kind of play around with, but not something I would say is extremely viable. But in the end, final build for this build itself is the 50 BMG 50 round mag. You've got amplified damage with this. Is what's helping stack this up to 90, and given that 84, it gives us the bullet velocity, added effective damage range. It's just overall giving us a lot of positives and just making this gun an absolutely devastating force when it comes to the rounds. And some moments, one shot of the head, that's dead. Now I went with incendiary rounds since we weren't exactly going for long range, so the damage range and bullet velocity is not too, or doesn't take away too much from the capability of this weapon, and just adds that extra damage, especially with how much damage this weapon is doing. Sometimes this may be the one moment where, say you hit a limb and it just didn't quite do enough damage, the incendiary could finish them off pretty quickly if they go around a corner or something, if you landed enough of the rounds. But when it comes to Warzone integration, obviously lengthened is going to be that optimal choice when it comes to the long range. Now for the grip, start off with a Carver foregrip. Could make an argument that maybe if the recoil was still too strong for you for those close and medium range fights when you're ADSing, you could go for the recoil control. But for me, the SMLE pistol grip, we wanted that sprint to fire time and a little more of that hip fire accuracy as well, just to aid us in those moments when obviously this is an LMG. It's a bit slower than some of the ARs, or quite a bit more, or what am I trying to say here? It's just slower in general, so we want that ability to come out of that sprint and be able to fire as quick as possible. If you've noticed recently, shotguns are completely overpowered, SMGs overpowered, STGs, the list goes on of the many things that can just have an ability to quickly come out of their sprint to fire a lot faster than you. So we want to cut down on that time, give us that ability to put out some DPS with this. But that's going to be the build. I can definitely see this weapon becoming one of those meta LMGs right alongside with the DP27. But this one, accuracy won't be as strong as DP27 in my opinion, but the damage, or the sheer fact that the Queen's Royale is going to have that damage does not diminish over range. If this does even transfer over as not having that capability, I imagine it will still have a serious increase to the damage range over this weapon. And hopefully this integrates, doesn't change, and just stays as is, because this would be amazing. This would be one of those meta weapons, guarantee it, as long as that damage does not diminish over range. But that being said, if you'd like to see some of these weapons getting leveled, I'll also be doing different builds. And before we get into the Warzone integration, I'll kind of make some loadout videos on what I see as predictions that could possibly be good going forward. But like I said before, if you wanted to check out some of these weapons getting leveled and some of these builds live, hit the link in the description. Follow me over at Twitch. I'm streaming every day working on this. We also got Battlefield 2042 coming out tomorrow night. We'll be checking that out, making some content on that. But on that note, we'll get straight into the gameplay, and hope you guys have a good one. Battlefield 2042. You know you want to try to fly a helicopter and fail hilariously.
Here's the explosion.
Oh my god, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? He's using an auto shotgun?
Oh yeah, the revolving one.
Oh my god, if this guy's really gonna be doing that.
crouching hero right now.
Dude, all these shotguns and riot shields.
Get him. Wait for it. Wait for it. Got him. Got him, got him, got him. Ah.
They need to fix that SVT. It should not be a one-shot. That SVT should not be a one-shot. That's the dumbest thing in the world.
That's right, door backpack. That's right, that's right. Keep him coming. Keep him coming.
The fuck is going on with my screen?
Yeah, why is it turning red?
What's
Bro,
turning
why
red?
was it doing it? It's like getting all blurry and shit.
Oh, my sound cut off.
Oh yeah, that'll happen as well. Bit of a bug.
Who cares? They're still going to
Oh.
play the game.
Oh, here we go. Hold on. It's time to get into action.
How many bullets does it take?
Jesus Christ.
Don't worry, just flame not coming through. Got this.
Bro, this shotgun shit is just makes the game so not enjoyable.
I could just stick in the corner. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's about time they finally killed me.
Oh my god.
Wait, what? Wait, time out. I picked up the dude's auto shotgun and it's not auto.
Oh, so he's got one of those modded controllers.
Yeah, he has a fucking modded controller because I held the trigger and it shot one fucking time. Yo, what? What's going on right now? Bro, what? Now, every time I get killed, I'm gonna get pissed off. Get quick scope, bitch! Your fucking modded controller. Suck my fucking dick. Yeah, teabag, bitch.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, what's going on, Zoe? They're just coming straight for me. appreciate it, Zoe. Goddamn Dior backpack. You're kidding me. Fuck it. I'm in. Suit it up, boys.
I knew you were coming from the back.
Pause.
I should have had that last kill, son of a bitch.
Oh, he's using a 3-line rifle. I thought he was using SVT this entire time.
Great.
They're
So
all
they're just
on
gonna
that
try
one.
and like stop people from utilizing the sprint. Seems like a cheap way to get it done. It's not something you should be focusing on, especially when you should be trying to balance out Nightmare. I still don't know why they decided that you can regain health inside of Fort Hope. So that was a hot, debated topic.
Really, that dude is running and gunning. What the fuck?
Rabbit, yeah. I mean, they already increased the rate of fire with it in the first place when it comes to the mutations.
80, 100, and 25.
Ugh. Wait, I'm not playing the game. All right, I held it down with that flame knot.
I got a triple quick scope. I don't know how I wasn't playing the game.
And that guy just gets a little jump shot.
I literally had a triple quick scope. I don't understand how. I wasn't playing the game, but whatever.
90